Words we heard as a child about a thing called the wild. Here, adults talk about milk curdles, expensive soup is from turtles. Eventually, I heard the truth will set me free from what never came up because truth and justice were the American way. I missed out on Susie Homemaker. Now I find myself thinking women have been trained by fetish sadomasochists to have sex, then kill their offspring. I'm against it and subscribe to the better biblical way, truth, through the light of the world promised long ago. My hope is supplied by faith because love of living water, meta type food for eternity, feed, food flavored by rock salt of our salvation, a peaceful, symbiotic plantation of stis, stis, I think what I wanted to say here was something that it was symbiotic, a symbiotic system that will supply every anticipated necessity to have a people presented, made ready, and more than willing to praise him, casting crowns before God who spared us for that reason. We sheep are entering that season rudely, been awakened to a powerful satanic plan. People, including me, have offered alternative plans. I'm saying, I'm encouraging you to try to decide what you want to do before the next war, flood, famine, or pestilence, or planned pandemic. Welcome, everybody, to Mud Flood was Armageddon. The Mud Flood was the Armageddon. Don't let them tell you anything else unless they're willing to debate you in a fair and honest way. I have to get this out of the way. Welcome, JK, Zach and Mac, and anybody else that is too shy. Check this out. Now we got a fair use statement. I'm not giving you I'm giving you philosophical and religious advice, not financial advice. My medical advice would be better because I'm a prophet. And anyway, uh, am I sharing the screen? We're gonna have to go over what the world is about today. It says he's married to, am I sharing the screen there? Did you see that picture I showed of the president of France? That's what I'm trying to show there. Because I am sharing the screen and I'm showing the pictures. There's this guy. They're the leaders of the free world. It, I saw his husband slash wife, possibly uncle, slap him in the face when he was getting ready to walk off a plane. He just waved and took it and went and gave a speech as the president of France. It's a Roman Catholic country. Did you know that? They had the bunga bunga parties. It's not only him. They've been looking for this long time. You know what I got to do for a type of situation I had planned? Now, I don't think you're going to be able to. So let me get off of this because I want to start it and then I'll go back to the pictures because I want this to be kind of a surprise. And I'm going to let this play because not I wouldn't, she's, let's just hear it and then I'm going to show
The bag. I've been studying this type of thing for years, but you can't really talk about it because people will think that you're crazy. So now we know Satanists and Luciferians run the world. Second Corinthians, it describes that Satan is the god of this world. They own the government, politics, Democrats and Republicans, the court system, the education system, the banks, the Federal Reserve, real estate, farms, Hollywood, what we watch, music, what we listen to, media, what we believe, sports, big pharma, everything. We pay their taxes, we work their jobs, we buy their houses. We don't own anything really, because even if we paid for a house outright, if we miss paying taxes one time, they can take the home. We've been pitted against each other like crazy forever. Black versus white, rich versus poor, men versus women, Democrats versus Republicans, Muslims against Christians. We fight over narratives that they've created to keep us divided while they're doing whatever they want. Hunting, killing, sexually assaulting, sacrificing, torturing, cannibalizing, yes, cannibalizing, and organ harvesting our children, grooming them and over sexualizing them, teaching them inappropriate things in school. They start wars and they tell us it's this country or that country, or it's this religion who's our enemy. And our kids go to war to defend lies. They fund both sides of the war and make billions of dollars while our family members are sacrificed. We have been bamboozled beyond our wildest dreams. Everything we've been fed is a lie. So what do? If you're like me, like, okay, we got the information, but what do? We can't impeach the president because that's up to Congress. The only power we have is our dollars, our prayers, and our voices. Some people will laugh at that, but when it comes to their God, they're on their job. They pray to their God, they worship him, they murder, assault children, make blood sacrifices. They are very dedicated to making sure their God is pleased with them. We can stop feeding the beast with our dollars. When things are exposed, we can stop giving them our money. I'm not telling you who you should buy from or where to spend your money, but I do encourage you to investigate the companies you patronize. Find out who they are, what their practices are, what their beliefs are. I know we love certain brands, but do we know their history? Who owns your bank? Is there another place that you can put your money? Because if they decide, they can close the banks whenever they want, or they can freeze our accounts if we don't comply with their narrative. They're purposely poisoning our water, air, and food. So support your local farmers if you have access. I know everyone doesn't have access. I understand that. Buy fresh, real food. Buy land if you can. Grow food if that's in your heart. Even this information we've been exposed to, I think it's designed to see what we will do. This information can make us feel helpless and depressed and even more complacent, giving them even more control to usher in their new world order, their one world government, one currency, one world dictatorship where we have no rights at all. So we can refuse digital ID, we can support smaller venues, we can spread and share information. If we can homeschool our children. Support local farmers. It's healthier, it's cleaner. Get back to eating whole foods. If you can, try and go direct to consumer. And according to Revelation, yes, we are being led to a choice, right? It talks about the mark of the beast in Revelation 13, 16 through 17. You can read it for yourself, but that's basically where this is all headed, and it's unfolding right in front of us. There'll be a time that we won't be able to buy or sell unless we take the mark. Can you imagine one world government, one religion, one currency, total dictatorship, total control? Let's do what we can. Spread information, and God bless you guys.
So, that was the girl that used to say, push it good, salt and pepper. She's having a little rush in the situation here. Huh. I was doing a little looking. Luther had me look up some gematria stuff yesterday, and I looked up Artis Salt Paco. I got Total Collapse of America. Ayahuasca, something I've never done. Weird. So, the situation that we're rolling with there, that's what we got. We're dealing with people that our mind cannot comprehend. You don't need to comprehend that type of a situation. We have the Bible. Let's look at a few of it. We need, there were the things. If you want to do, it's all tied into the Epstein, the pedophile priest. There's sheep and there's goats. We're going to be separated into a camp. There, 21 out of 146. That's in the Greek alone. There's certain type of prophets. There are. And if you think you're one, I think you should go about, offer your plan, let's hear your story. Something, in ancient times, a seer, there were people who warned about certain things. It's time to get on board. Don't be some of the people, you read the Bible, you find out why they would feel like this. Oh God, why did you cast us off forever? Why does your anger smoke against the sheep of your pasture? Remember your congregation, which you have purchased of old, which you have redeemed to be the tribe of your heritage. Remember Mount Zion, where you have dwelt. Direct your steps to the perpetual ruins. The enemy has destroyed everything in the sanctuary. There is always going to be the long, hard, complicated Bible. Was there a divorce? How many times did he have to forgive them as an unfaithful wife as they went whoring? And now some Bibles, like the New American Standard, it doesn't even mention the word prostitute or whore. Wow. Did you forget me forever? What is the end? This is that verse some people, let's look at it. 74:3. Direct your steps to the perpetual ruins. The enemy has destroyed darn near everything. Perpetual is a funny word, because it's not like perpetual motion. It could be considered the strength and forever victory. Forever, 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 the absolute limit. Is this a very strong root word? I'm wondering myself. Well, it would seem it's passed that test. So it does all mean some type of maybe forever, perpetual. It's going to keep going, something. Ruins. What'd you call me? The enemy has damaged everything. Your feet lift up to, where's the ruins? The desolations? That must be it. 2 of 2. There it is in Psalm 73 and Psalm 74. Well, there's obviously, it's been a mud flood. There's a girl that she just used to
our
be
children,
salt and pepper.
grooming them and over sexual organ harvesting our children, grooming them, sexually assaulting, sacrificing, torturing, cannibalizing. Yes,
It's like, does anything ever really change? And in the first Israel and then Judah went a whoring after their gods. His anger was roused. Youch! Ouch! Oh! And this is all from that. This was told in Deuteronomy 31. You know what that's all about. This is Moses, Joshua. They've done everything. They've got all the land and everything is successful. Joshua is the leader. Moses told him, you're going to go in and whore after foreign gods. The anger's going to be kindled. He's going to hide their face. Here's the song. You're going to write it, teach it, read it. They didn't stay with the rock. That his work was perfect. All his ways are justice. Did you thus repay the Lord, you foolish and senseless people? Is he not your father who created you? Remember those days of old. They'll tell you the Most High gave the nations their inheritance, divided mankind, chose Jacob's people, the Lord, his portion. It chose Barabbas, scoffed at the rock of their salvation. There was a remnant that made it. And there was a vast majority who didn't. There were those who listened and saw and paid attention. And there were those who, well, the den of thieves was passing out the gold and making people think like, well, maybe this is the way it's supposed to be. The world today is ending the way it shouldn't be. They're going underground or something. They're going to let all the big cities burn. They're going to trip off your 5G and your bank accounts. You know it. It's coming. Whether it's China or Russia or our own complicit mafia government, does it matter? Does it matter if it's 1 month, 2 or 6 or 2 more years? You know, this is biblical. You know, it's a flat earth nation. You know, you've been given talents to glorify God if you are sheep. You're called, you're chosen. You need to be faithful unto the end and not let go of the plow. Amen. Hallelujah. Aho. Aloha. Arrivederci. Ciao. Sayonara. Afirase. Nakame. Adios. Amigos, I have a feeling this is going to be a long weekend. Anybody with me on that? From the border of southern Colorado and Mexico, that's how I say goodbye.